We are just 2 weeks away from New Japan Pro Wrestling's biggest event of the year, Wrestle Kingdom 15, and I give my predictions on the current match card. Kenny Omega has now a confirmed match for Impact Wrestling, and I will be talking about whether it'll do big business for them and how I think AEW can potentially use Impact Wrestling on TNT television. We also get into The Fiend not only being buried this year, but now burned alive. I go over my 15 matches that didn't top my top 50 matches of 2020, but are most certainly worthy of an honorable mention. And finally, I get into why there will likely never be another boom period in pro wrestling. I know, right? I'm the biggest Debbie Downer of all time. This is the 26th edition, the Christmas edition, of the Chill Spill Podcast. The S is silent, by the way.
On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 drummers drumming,
11 pipers piping, 10 lords a-leaping, 9 ladies dancing,
8 maids a milking,
6 geese a-laying,
5 gold rings. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear.
Partridge in a pan, partridge in a pantry. Oh man, you guys better know where that's from. I hope you guys, because I check my analytics. A lot of you between the ages of 18 and 30, so a lot of you grew up in that same period. I'm gonna give you like 5 seconds to prove that you are worthy of listening to this podcast. And please tell me you know where this song is from. I'll wait. If you guessed anything outside of 12 Days of Christmas from the movie Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh, then I am very disappointed in you. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the 26th edition of the Chill Spill Podcast. And that is spill, spelled with an S, but it is silent. Much like Tyler Kuhn Williams was after saying he had a big announcement last week. And don't worry, I'll get into that in just a bit on why that didn't happen, what is going on with my channel. Because it's been a long time since I actually updated you guys on what's going on with my channel. So, you know, time has come. I must come clean. I must come forward with what is the update with that and what's going on with Twitch. A lot been going on this week. I've been streaming a lot, you know, all that jazz. But guys, welcome here. This is the holiday edition. By the time you're listening to this, it may actually be Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. And for that, I say Merry Christmas. If you celebrate Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah. If you celebrate Kwanzaa, Happy Kwanzaa. If you don't celebrate any of the three, then, you know, hopefully you have a great day. Just the overall happy holidays to all of you. It's been quite a crazy year. Definitely not my best year in terms of, you know, personal matters online. It just has not been a good year for me. And one part of the year that I always get really excited for is Christmas. Ever since I was a little kid, I always just loved Christmas. You know, waking up in the morning, going downstairs, seeing all the presents and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, as you get older, you have to buy presents for other people, and you become a bit more it's Christmas, you know. But I still have that. I still have that feeling in my chest. I'm still like a kid at heart when it comes to Christmas. And even though I might be spending Christmas alone this year, but you know. That's just how it is sometimes with COVID and everything, which is sucky because it's going to be probably one of the oddest Christmases ever, but that's how it is. You know, I got to ask you guys a question here, you know, just because it's the Chill Spill podcast, not a wrestling podcast. What is your favorite Christmas movie? I, like many of you, probably have spent Christmas Eves watching Christmas movies with your loved ones, your parents, your significant other. Like, what is your go-to Christmas movie to watch every single year? I mean, I feel like as I've gotten older, I've kind of drifted a little bit apart from watching Christmas movies on Christmas Eve, you know. Like the last few Christmases, I've just been editing. So I know, like, on my part, I haven't really been doing a lot of Christmas movie watching. Last year, I watched this movie called Better Watch Out, which is like I think it's almost like a spin on Home Alone, but I enjoyed that. It's not my favorite Christmas movie, but I want to hear from you guys. What is your favorite Christmas movie? So for me, I know it's going to be a bit of an easy answer. It's everybody's favorite Christmas movie, but whatever. I'm a basic bitch when it comes to Christmas movies, okay? My favorite is Home Alone 2. Yeah, I know Home Alone was the precursor. That was the one that set the bar. I don't know what it is about Home Alone 1, but I didn't enjoy that as much as I did Home Alone 2. Maybe it's because the traps were a lot more innovative in the second movie and Kevin was like in a different like house or something. Like, I don't know what it was about Home Alone 2 that I loved a lot more than Home Alone, but I just love that movie, and there can't be a year where I don't watch that. Now, of course, I do have other movies I watch, like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and Christmas with the Cranks, and A Christmas Story. Like, there's other Christmas movies that I enjoy watching, but Home Alone 2, that is my favorite. I love it. I love it so much. But Christmas stuff out the way. Hopefully, you guys all have a great holiday, and you guys get plenty of gifts and presents, and do giving as well. Away from all the Christmas stuff once again, let's dive into a bit of what's going on with your boy. So, if you guys, I'm not even going to act like you guys don't know. A lot of you already know this by now. Back in August of 2020, my YouTube channel, Tyler Kuhn Williams, got hit with 3 copyright strikes from TV Asahi, and that put my channel in pending deletion. I was unable to post for about a month. My channel ended up getting deleted for about a good 3 weeks, and then I was able to get it restored back. I got it restored back. It was at 1 strike, and then within 3 days, I think it was like 3 days. Within 3 days, I received 2 more strikes, and my channel was back in pending deletion. And it has been in pending deletion literally ever since September. Like, I haven't been. I know some people have been asking, like, oh, what's going on with your channel? Like, are you not posting here anymore? Like, guys, I don't post there because I don't want to post there. I don't post there because I can't. Like, I've literally been stuck in pending deletion and been unable to post since September. And I know what you're thinking. Like, September? Like, have you just, like, given up on it? Like, what's going on? No, I have not. So, believe it or not, I've been trying to fight this behind the scenes a lot with, you know, many people and YouTube. And it's just been a very grueling process. And what I can give you as far as an update is that I said this in a tweet about a few days ago that I feel like TVSIE, I said this jokingly, by the way, I said that TVSIE probably paid off YouTube to go as slow as possible because at the end of the day, my copyright strikes have been on final review. And when it's under final review, that means that the claimant has already reviewed it and sent the response. It's now to YouTube to give a final verdict on the situation. Which means that TV Asahi had already replied to it, and now it's up to YouTube to decide on whether to put the video back up or not, regarding whatever the situation may be in that case. And it's been in final review since, I think, like, August the 31st. One of the strikes have been in final review since August the 31st. And then I submitted another copyright counter notification about a month ago, and that's been in final review for going on 20 days now. So you bundle that all up and you ask yourself, what is YouTube doing? Like, why is this still in final review? And yeah, that's what I've been asking for the last 3 fucking months. What the hell is YouTube doing? So these last 3 months have been me shooting messages from YouTube creator support, which I'm so elated that I actually have the chance to use this. I didn't find this out until I think really October or like September. No, I found this out in October because I was watching a YouTube video on how somebody went through the same thing I went through. And they said that, oh, I'm so happy that I had YouTube creator support to talk to because they had the process go by a little bit faster. I'm like, YouTube creator support? What is YouTube creator support? So I look into this, and apparently you can actually chat with somebody at YouTube. Now, you can't call them up, which I would have done that a long ass time ago. But you can, like, chat with them online, like basically how you would do tech support with somebody online through like an email or an instant messenger. I did not know about this. I literally found this out 2 months ago. Like, had I known about this, I would have been on this like a whole like 3 months earlier, back in August. And that situation probably could have been handled a lot earlier. But you live and you learn. I didn't know about it. A lot of people don't know about it either. But if you are somebody who is a YouTube partner, somebody with over 1,000 subscribers, there is an option for you to get in contact with YouTube or / Google's creative support team if you ever have an issue regarding your YouTube channel. So just wanted to put that out there for all of you who don't know about it because I didn't know about it. But I've been in contact with them for months and emails going back and forth like, hey, what's going on? I've been getting different messages from every person. I've talked to at least like 4 or 5 different people. And the first person was no help at all. It's just like, well, you know, your channel's just kind of down right now. And I'm like, yeah, bitch, I fucking know that already. And the second person wasn't as much help. Like, it wasn't until the 4th person where I felt like I was really getting help. Like this, like, I gotta give her a shout out. I think her name was like Hazel or something. She was so nice and so, what's the word I'm looking for? She was so, I would say, sympathetic. But I guess sympathetic's kind of wrong word used there. She understood what I was going through, because there was a lot. I was very frustrated because I felt like every time I would send an email, I have to wait for something to get back, and I would get nowhere. And she was saying like, "Hey, we're working on it. You know, this is what I can tell you. This is why this is happening." And she told me a lot more about the situation, and I feel like the more I learned, the more I got angrier, because it's like, it's now, it's not even really TV Asahi's fault because they responded already. It's YouTube's fault because they're not fucking going fast enough. And I know you're saying, oh, but COVID and that, but COVID's the excuse for every fucking thing nowadays. The way I see it is, if I had more subscribers, I'm sure this situation would have been resolved already. But the fact that I'm just some 7K Andy, they just get to toy around whatever the fuck is going on my YouTube channel. So basically, all I could tell you right now is that these 2 strikes are under final review. They've been under final review, and I basically have to wait to hear back from YouTube about what's going on. And I don't know when that is. Like, I've been told 2 different things by 2 different people, and so far, both of them have just not been the case. It just seems like every other day, it's like, oh, we're working on it, we're trying to figure out the situation. It's like, it's making me mad just thinking about it, so I'm just gonna, whatever. So that's the status update on the Tyler Cool Williams channel. I have no idea what's going on with it. It's a lost cause, really. And I'm not, like, I've kind of already accepted the fact that it may not come back, you know. I think it's just me internally just wanting it to, not even more so wanting it to stay alive, but just not wanting to lose the battle. Like, god damn it, I came this far. I can't just, like, give up on it now, you know? So that's really why I'm still in the game with that whole channel. But as far as the Twitch thing goes, I know some of you are wondering what's going on with Twitch. I don't stream as frequently. I think I only stream like maybe 3 times this month. And I actually posted a picture on my YouTube community page that I was, well, it looked as if I was kicked out of the Twitch affiliate program, which, if you guys don't know, the affiliate program basically is the way where you're able to get subscribers, you're able to get donations through Twitch. So I'm now not part of the affiliate program, so now the only thing you could do is follow the channel and make comments. There's no other interaction you can have with these Tyler Suplex Twitch streams or channel anymore. No bits, no donations, no cheers, none of that. So to put that into perspective here and really tell you what's going on, first things first, Twitch did not kick me out of the affiliate program. I left the affiliate program. And the reason why I left the affiliate program is because of 2 reasons, really. Number one, I really did not look over the Twitch affiliate program terms of use before I signed it. And I will say, much to my begrudging, you know, dismay, I was more so in a hurry to kind of just get on this Twitch affiliate bandwagon because, you know, YouTube wasn't treating me right. I felt like I was being done dirty by them, and I'm like, you know, fuck you guys, I'm going to Twitch. So when I was able to get Twitch affiliate within 10 days, I'm like, fuck yeah, bro, let's do it. And I just kind of accepted it. I didn't read into it. But then I watched the video about, I would say a few weeks ago, about almost a month ago, by Devin Nash. If you guys don't know who he is a, I would say he's a fairly big Twitch streamer. He makes YouTube videos regarding Twitch and, you know, how to grow on the platform and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. A very informal guy. If you guys are content creators, I would definitely recommend Devin Nash. He made a video regarding why you shouldn't be a Twitch affiliate. And I learned a lot of things about the affiliate program that I did not know beforehand. One of those things being is that you're basically, I would say you're almost kind of like signed to Twitch in a sense, like how you would sign with a pro wrestling company. I basically signed with Twitch, where they own my likeness, they own whatever content I own. At the same time, you cannot stream to Twitch and other platforms at the same time. Now, you're not exclusively only allowed to stream to Twitch. I believe that is if you're a partner, but you cannot stream on Twitch and a different platform at the same time. And also, which I definitely did not know about this, and I kind of already violated it. But one of the terms of being an affiliate is that when you stream on Twitch, your content is Twitch exclusive for up to 24 hours. So within a 24-hour period when I stream, I'm not allowed to upload it to YouTube or any social media platform. It is prohibited only to Twitch. So I heard all that, and I'm like, you know, I'm still really, really, really small on Twitch. I only have like 100 followers on Twitch. I'm not really at the point where I'm like, I feel like I need to be locked down to anything regarding Twitch. And then the second reason is that I do plan on restreaming next year. So one of the things that I wanted to start getting into next year was streaming to multiple platforms, not just one. You know, last year, well, not I say last year, like it's 2021. I hope it is soon. But earlier this year and really last year, like 2019, I streamed a lot on YouTube, which is where I grew a lot. A lot of my live streams, a lot of you guys came from my YouTube live streams, whether it be New Japan or All Elite Wrestling or Stardom. A lot of you came from YouTube and those live streams. Now, there were some of you who were introduced to me through Twitch, which I think is so awesome that I got this other platform that people discovered me through, and I will forever be grateful of that. But at the same time, when YouTube kind of just banned me with the Tyler Williams channel, I stopped streaming on the platform in general. I just kind of said, you know, fuck you guys, you don't deserve my talents, which they don't. Fuck them. But at the same time, I do feel like it was a little bit, how do I say this? I feel like I was kind of doing the YouTube realm kind of dirty in a sense, because a lot of you did not, well, let me say not a lot of you, some of you did not come over to Twitch, which for reasons, it's none of my business. But I do believe that some of the reason why a lot of you probably did not come over to Twitch is because maybe you didn't want to create an account, or maybe you just were content on being on YouTube, which is absolutely fine. It's not your fault that I couldn't stream on YouTube or chose not to. So I felt like it's almost like I'm not doing a good service to people who are my supporters on YouTube by not streaming on a platform at all. Which is why next year I wanted to start restreaming, which is where you stream to Twitch and YouTube and other platforms that you want to at the same time. So to benefit both communities, my Twitch community who is content with being on Twitch, and my YouTube community who I have not really live streamed and going on about to be, I think, 5 or 6 months. You guys get to get the best of both worlds. You can actually choose now. If you want to watch me on YouTube, you can watch me on YouTube. If you want to watch me on Twitch, you can watch me on Twitch. Now, the only upsetting part about this, at least on my end, is that I can't stream on the Tyler Williams channel because my channel is currently at 3 strikes, which means I'm prohibited from uploading and live streaming. So I will be live streaming on the Tyler Mask YouTube channel and the Tyler Suplex Twitch channels, which is both demonetized. Of course, the Tyler Mask channel, I've never been monetized because that's a new channel with not 1,000 subscribers, and it doesn't have the watch time hours to meet that criteria. And with the Tyler Suplex Twitch channel, I left the affiliate program, so I can't make any money off of it. Now, I don't stream or do YouTube just for the money, of course. The money is secondary. I do it because I enjoy it. So, which is why I'm getting back to just streaming on both platforms, because that is what I enjoy doing. I love entertaining people. That's what I feel like my purpose in life is to provide some value to somebody in some way. And that, for me right now, is entertainment, to take you away from the struggles in your life, or to even just 1 second give you a laugh or feel like you're a part of something. That is what I feel like I am meant to do with my time, with my energy, and I love to do it. And that's why I do feel like providing that content for everybody may be for the best. Of course, I do have my Patreon, patreon.com/TylerMask, which does have a live streaming option. I will plan on live streaming there as well. So, you know, 2021, I feel like this is going to be my comeback year. I mean, not just for like YouTube and Twitch, but really just in life in general. It's just been a shitty year for me overall. So I do have a trip planned. January the 6th, I'm going to be going to Puerto Rico. And that's really going to be my time to really go into my zen and really, search for what I believe is right and what I want to do going forward. Because, I'm about to enter in the age of 24, and, that's real. That's the mid-20s. That's the mid-20s. It's scaring me, guys. I'm getting old, yo. But, yeah, like, I'm about to be in my mid-20s very soon. So it's like, I gotta figure out what I want to do going forward, Do I really want to, pursue YouTube and Twitch long term, or is this something that I've just been doing for the last few years? Maybe want to, and I'm not saying that I'm leaving Twitch or YouTube anytime soon, but you really got to think about this stuff as you get older. So I feel like that's really going to be the appropriate time for me. I can confirm that I will be back on Twitch live streaming on January the 4th and January the 5th for Wrestle Kingdoms Night 1 and 2, as well as my first live streams back on YouTube January the 4th and January the 5th for New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom Night 1 and 2. I will also be live streaming for New Year Dash. I will be live streaming days prior, January the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, leading into those days. I'm not too sure if they will be on Twitch and YouTube. They might just be on Twitch, but I will be back for those live streams. Now, the reason why I've not been live streaming in the last few weeks is for two reasons. Number one, I've been very, very busy at work, and they've been scheduling me to work Wednesdays, which I'm not really keen with, and I'll have to have a conversation about that, but that's, not for you guys to know about. And two, I've been really, really busy with my top 50 list. If you guys don't know, I've been working on my top 50 matches of 2020, and that's been taking up a lot of my time. I basically wake up in the morning, I watch matches, I write my reviews, then I go to work, I come back, and then I fucking finish this top 50. I've been doing that for basically all of the latter half of November and all of December. So that's why I've not been streaming a lot. I've been trying to really crack down and get this list done, and that takes a lot of time to watch a lot of goddamn matches. So that's why I've not been streaming lately. But like I said, January 2021 is when we go back to streaming. I would really love to go back to streaming much earlier, but there's only 9 more days left in a year, and at the same time, there's still a lot of work left to do with the top 50, and then there's a lot of other things I have going on. So I think it's probably for the best that I just not stream until I actually have the time, which I have vacation time from January the 1st to January the 10th, so that is when I'll be streaming. That is the update regarding Tyler Kuhn Williams, Tyler Mass, Tyler Suplex, all that jazz. With all that being said, I did just talk about Wrestle Kingdom 15, Night 1 and 2 being my first live stream back. So, let's get into Wrestle Kingdom. Let's talk about this card coming up. On the last episode of the Chill Pill podcast, I did a preview, a very tiny one where I just basically mentioned the match cards, but I didn't give my predictions. This week, I'll be giving my predictions for these matches. So starting off of Wrestle Kingdom Night 1, we have Hiromu Takahashi, the winner of the Best of the Super Juniors 27, versus El Fantasmo, the winner of Super J Cup 2020, and the winner will challenge Taiji Ishimori on Wrestle Kingdom 15 Night 2 for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. I don't remember if Hiromu and El Fantasmo have ever had a match before. If I recall, I think they may have... No, Hiromu wasn't in BOSJ last year. And I don't think El Fantasmo... Yeah, okay, so they never have, because... Have they? No, I don't think they have, because El Fantasmo didn't come into New Japan until 2019, and Hiromu got hurt in 2018. So unless they had a match outside of New Japan that I don't know about, to my knowledge, this will be their first meeting. So there is no record or anything to go off of. It's really just, who do you think will win? It can go either way, honestly. El Fantasmo, ELPP, as I like to call him. He's really been bred to be New Japan's, next top gaijin in terms of the junior division for quite some time now. He had a really good run in BOSJ last year. He had some really good matches in there with Will Ospreay and Rocky Romero. He came very close, I think, to getting to the finals, but I think he inevitably did lose that block to, I believe, Will Ospreay. But coming out this year, he did go into Super J Cup with guys like Chris Bay and Blake Christian, Leo Rush, and ACH, and TJP, and he came out the victor, which I think a lot of people already had him guessed and picked to win the tournament. I would have rather been Leo Rush, but hey, I'll take El Fantasmo. He's a really good wrestler. going up against Hiromu Takahashi. This is the one of, I gotta say one of, because Bullet Club really is dominating this entire show. This is one of the Bullet Club championship matches of the show. There is a very real possibility we may see Bullet Club basically walk out of Wrestle Kingdom holding all the championships. But I do get the sense that with the current build from the last few months, you know, we got Hiromu Takahashi versus Taiji Ishimori at Summer Struggle. That was their first match since their match at BOSJ 28. Then we got their rematch of sorts at, was it BOSJ 20? Why am I forgetting the lineage? Why am I forgetting the thingy things? Hold on, I want to make sure I get this right. I believe after their match it was at BOSJ, but I want to make sure I did not miss a match in here. Hold on one second. Hiromu Takahashi versus Taiji Ishimori. Other matches. Alright, so I was right. So the first match they had this year was at Summer Struggle, then the second was in BOSJ. Which would mean that, of course, by the Matrix, they're due for another match, because that's how New Japan books their shows. Hiromu won. Well, he lost the first match. Then he won the last match they had. I think that Hiromu is more than likely gunning back for that championship. I'm going to go with Hiromu Takahashi to beat El Phantasmo and face Taiji Ishimori on night 2. I could be entirely wrong. There's like I said, I think realistically anybody could win, but I'm going to go with Hiromu to win this match. The next match we have up here, you have the Dangerous Tekkers, Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi going up against the Guerrillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. A heel versus heel tag team match. It's very intriguing to think about. I'm very curious about how the booking of this match is going to look, because I can't imagine this is going to be literally both teams cheating the entire time. I mean, it really maybe is going to be that. Like, who can out-cheat the other? Now I think about it, that may make for a very fun match. But I don't know if these two have ever faced off outside of this World Tag League, which I have not seen the match because I had no interest in watching the World Tag League. But what I can say is I'm happy to see Guerrillas of Destiny's back. They did win the World Tag League to earn this championship match. Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi, they've been killing it in my opinion in their role as tag team champions, and before that, I think they really came together in the beginning of the year. I don't remember if it was exactly after the New Japan Road Tour, because they went straight into the 3-month period where they were gone, so I think it may have been Dominion when they really started their act together. And I thought they've been gold. Like, actively, they've had some of the best tag team matches of the year, especially that match against Tanahashi and Ibushi at Dominion. Mwah! That's a great match, outside of it taking super long to get to the finish. But it was a great match. And here, I don't know if this is going to be a great match, but I will say this. I do believe that Guerrillas of Destiny will be IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions once again. These two guys, their deep association with New Japan is the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. You can say that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I almost see them as like the Usos of New Japan Pro Wrestling. They're that solidified tag team that you know they're there to put on really good matches, they're really entertaining, and at the same time, their deep association is with the tag team titles. I think that ZSJ and Taichi, even though they're a great act, they're not going to last forever. Taichi has been doing really well in the G1 Climax. I could very well see him contending for the Never Openweight Championship. Same with Zack Sabre Jr. Maybe the IWGP US Championship for both men, if they ever get that title back. But I think GOD is definitely due for the championships to come back home, so I'm going to go with the Bullet Club to win this bout. Also in the show, we have Hiroshi Tanahashi versus the Great Khan. I made a tweet about a week ago saying that this is a straight disrespect to the Ace. A lot of people were kind of mixed on that, more so negative than positive. Once again, I was half joking, but at the same time, half joking, so there was some partial truth to that. Tanahashi against the Great Khan, it does not sound like a very enthusiastic or really inspiring match on my end. The Great Khan, he's very green. I have not seen a good or even, well, great or even good Great Khan match. like I said in a previous podcast, if there was anybody who can possibly take the Great Okan to his best match, it would likely be Hiroshi Tanahashi. So I'm going to say that the Great Okan wins this match. Now, the reason you're probably thinking, oh, wait, well, the Great Okan, I thought you didn't like this guy. No, I don't think he's a great wrestler, but at the same time, Tanahashi is getting a lot older. He's scaling down, scaling back. We've been talking about this all year. Is he going into his New Japan dad phase? And I think that very soon he will be. Now, there's still some mileage left in him. I don't think the mileage includes being the IWGP Heavyweight Champion ever again. But if you are going to be going back into maybe the New Japan dad type of mindset, I think the way to do that is putting over younger talent. After all, Hiroshi Tanahashi is nearing 45 very soon. And not like, I don't think he is 44. I think he may be. How old is Tanahashi? Hiroshi Tanahashi. Let me look this up. He's like 50 years old or something. No, I was right. He's actually 44 years old. He is nearing 45. That's not going to be until November next year, but he's still nearing 45. He's not getting any younger. The Great Okan, I don't think he's actually that young either. I think he may be in his mid-30s. But he's younger. He's hungrier. He could be something big in New Japan if they do him right and if he actually gets better. I think this may be the gateway for him. I'm going to go with the Great Okan to win this match. There's only 5 matches confirmed from night 1 so far. I wholly believe there's gonna be more matches added soon, but this is all I have for you guys right now. Hey, so this is Tyler Mask, a little bit post-production from the Chill Spill podcast. I just got a notification saying that Kenta has accepted Juice Robinson's challenge at Wrestle Kingdom, so looks like we will be getting an additional match added to either night 1 or night 2. It doesn't really say. We'll be getting Kenta versus Juice Robinson for the rights to the U.S. Championship Challenge briefcase. I felt, what? Didn't I say I didn't want this to happen? Like, didn't I say I didn't want to see Juice challenge for the championship ever again? And that Kenta should just be rewarded the championship? This company hates me, man. I don't know why they keep doing this to me. Either way, I'm not excited for this match at all. I've already seen this match happen. It may be really good, but we shouldn't be talking about a challenge briefcase. We should be talking about where the fuck the champion is. So we've been doing all this build with Kenta as the briefcase holder. He's defended the briefcase like at least 4 or 5 times already. I think at this point he should just keep it. Like, I want to go with Kenta to retain. I, for the life of me, do not want to see Juice Robinson win this briefcase and then challenge John. Like, John Moxley shows up on night 2, like, oh, well, I'm here, guys, let's try. And then we get Juice and John Moxley again. Like, again. No. Kenta wins. That is my prediction. Last minute prediction. The co-main event: Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay. This is going to be the match where the Rainmaker wakes up finally. We get that 5-star epic classic that people have been waiting to see. It's really sad to think about it, that Okada had like 2 or 3 great matches this entire year and dragged his feet for the rest of the 363 days of the year. But that's really where we're at right now. I do believe that Okada's not going to just straight up suck in this match. I don't know if Ospreay's going to, carry him. And I could say that because he got carried in his match with Shingo, but it's gotta be a great match. Like, I cannot see Okada coming in here and just being a shitty wrestler. He's gotta wake the hell up. I hope he does. Last time I seen Okada and Ospreay was at G1 Climax. I thought they had a really good match, but if you go to G1 29, I thought they had an outstanding match. If this is anything like their G1 29 match, we are definitely going to see a outstanding performance here. If anybody is going to be getting the win here, it should be Will Ospreay. He is the guy they're positioning as their top heel coming very soon. I mean, he just created the Empire. However, Okada has really been kind of down and out for a lot of this year. And not down and out in the sense that, he's been depressed or anything. I don't know. But he has been losing all the fucking time. But, he hasn't been a Rainmaker. He hasn't been himself. And I feel like the story here with Okada, I feel like what you guys been fucking telling me every single goddamn day, and not you guys, like, in general, but what I've been hearing every goddamn day about Okada is, the story is that Okada is not truly himself, and that he's got to find himself again. And if this is really the storyline, then this would all roads would believe that he's winning this match, which I don't think he needs to win this match, and I think that it will probably do a lot more damage than good to Ospreay if he does beat Ospreay. So I'm gonna go for Ospreay to win this match. Okada has been the ace for 8 years. Since 2013 when he beat Tanahashi. He's been the ace for 8 years, guys. He's fine. There's no burying Okada. There's no making... Okada can only make himself look weak. There's no booking that will possibly make Okada look goofy as hell. Only he can do that. And he has been doing that. So, Okada can lose this match. And guess what? If he starts putting on great classics like he used to, he can easily get back in the eyes of fans as the ace or as, you know, the savior of New Japan. But until then, the way he's been performing this year, he don't deserve to fucking win a Wrestle Kingdom. So no, he's not winning in my opinion. Will Ospreay comes out the winner of this match. And then the main event of the evening, Tetsuya Naito defending the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championship against Kota Ibushi. This should come as no surprise to you guys, not only because he's my all-time favorite Japanese wrestler, but because I made this prediction a few weeks ago on a podcast. Kota Ibushi's winning this match. I don't see how he's not winning. I don't see how Kota Ibushi does not win. This story is it was there last year with Kota Ibushi winning the G1 Climax and facing Okada, and they missed the ball on that. They're kind of trying to tell it again, but I don't know how you're doing that when he wins the G1 Climax, loses the briefcase, and gets the match anyway. This has been a very odd way of telling Ibushi's comeback arc. I don't really like it, if I'm being honest. But I don't know how else he's going to get this shot. How else is he going to really become the champion? He's going to realize his dream until he beats somebody at the Tokyo Dome. So, Kota Ibushi wins this match. Tetsuya Naito, can he become champion again? He most certainly can. Will he? I don't know. I think this may be it for Tetsuya Naito. And I'll talk about that a bit later because someone asked this question, so I'm going to hold off on that. I'm going to just go with Kota Ibushi to become the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Champion. And I will rejoice. Then we get on to night 2. So, big news here. World Wrestling Ring Stardom, it has been confirmed they will be getting another match at the Tokyo Dome. It will be a dark match, so it won't be televised, sadly, but they are getting their match at Wrestle Kingdom. I am so happy for these ladies, these girls. They're getting their moments once again. There's no confirmation on who's in the match just yet. We'll be getting it very soon. If I have to take just a wild gander, crazy gander, at who will be in this match, I'm going to say that it will be Utami Hayashishita, Momo Watanabe, and Azumi versus Julia, Tam Nakano, and Mayu Iwatani. So, like, basically, I guess if you want to throw somebody from Wado Tai in there, maybe you could sub out Azumi and put in Natsuko Tora. Like, I would just try to get all the top females in this match. So that's what I would do, is 6-on-6 with Utami and Azumi and Momo versus Julia, Tom, and Mayu. Like I said, if you want to, you can sub out Azumi for Natsuko Tora. But I personally wouldn't. I would leave Azumi in there because she is the queen. But getting into the rest of night 2 that we're actually going to see. Sadly, I will not be at Wrestle Kingdom this year. I mean, not sadly, because I wouldn't buy a ticket. But I won't be at Wrestle Kingdom this year, so I won't see this match like I did last year with Mayu and Arisa versus Hana and Julia, which, looking back on it, I'm happy I got to see that match because it was really the last time I got to see 2 of those women wrestle. Alright, getting back into night 2. We have Taiji Ishimori defending his IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship against Hiromu Takahashi. Now, getting into the booking aspect here, you have Taiji getting the first win and Hiromu getting the second win. So it can go either way. But I think that Hiromu is destined to be champion again. So I am going to go with Hiromu Takahashi to win back the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. And be the ace of the junior division once again. To inevitably drop it to Yuya Uemura, or Ren Narita, or Shota Umino. Drop it to somebody new. Drop it to somebody who, you know, you can get over. That's what I think Hiromu's role should be here. Win the championship back, and drop to somebody who's going to be that next ace. I'm not saying that, oh, Hiromu's like, he's dialing back or anything. Hiromu is very young. I think he's only like 31. He's going to be in New Japan for a long time. I don't think this is going to be the year he goes to the heavyweight division. He could be, but I don't think this is the year he goes to the heavyweight division. But I do think that if you want to get other guys over, then beating Hiromu is the way to do it. And he did lose the show. He did lose to Robbie Eagles already this year. So maybe if he do that, we build up Show versus Hiromu and Show versus Robbie Eagles. I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to it at all. But after that, we get into Shingo Takagi defending his never openweight championship against Jeff Cobb. This match is really built off of Jeff Cobb laying out Shingo Takagi at Power Struggle. So that's really all. Maybe not even Power. Was it Power Struggle? Or was it? No, he laid him out at the finals of the World Tag League. Like this match does not have a lot of build up to it. It's gonna be a great match. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have a lot of build up to it. I'm gonna go with Jeff Cobb to become the new never openweight champion. I don't recall if Jeff Cobb has been. Has he? I think he may have been the never openweight champion before in 2018. But if he hasn't been, he will be the first. This will be his first reign. I would like to see Jeff Cobb as a champion, get a championship on the Empire. That's the way to do it. So Jeff Cobb wins this match. Also, night 2, you have Sonata versus Evil. That's the only other match confirmed on this card outside of the main event. So this could very well be the co-main event. I hope not, because that's not going to be a very thrilling main event. Sonata versus Evil. A match that has been done to death this year. A match I'm not looking forward to whatsoever. But if anybody needs to win this match, it's got to be Sonata. And you guys know I don't like Sonata. I've not been a fan of this man in the ring as a character. But Sonata, he's been having a pretty shitty year. He's been losing a lot. And I know he got some wins in the World Tag League, but outside of that, the man made it all the way to the semifinals of the New Japan Cup to get stumped in a dick by Evil and got turned on. Then he got turned. You guys know what I meant by turned on, but he got turned on by Evil. Then he went into the G1 Climax, made it all the way to the finals, and lost to Kota Ibushi, thankfully. Then he made it almost to the finals of the World Tag League and basically took a L. And then basically re-entered this feud with Evil. Hasn't been a good year for Sonata. It's been a very great year in terms of booking for Evil. In terms of work rate, I can't say the same thing. But it's been a very good year for him in terms of booking. I think Evil will be fine taking a loss here. So I think Sonata wins this match. And then the main event of the evening, Kota Ibushi will defend his IWGP Intercontinental and Heavyweight Championship against Jay White. A rematch from last year's Wrestle Kingdom. I hope this is much like their G1 Climax 29 finals match, because that was one of the best matches of the year for 2019. Hopefully so. I don't know what a Jay White Tokyo Dome main event is going to look like, but I assume this is going to be a great match. It's hard to say because, Jay White, he beat Kota Ibushi already. He's definitely a guy I could definitely see being their IWGP Heavyweight Intercontinental Champion. He's been their top gaijin for basically 2 years now, ever since Kenny Omega left. Is it his time? I mean, technically you could say his time came already when he beat Tanahashi at New Beginning in Osaka last year in 2019, and he held the title for all of a month, but he only held the title for a month and a half. He really never got a proper run as the heavyweight champion. So is he due for a proper run as the heavyweight champion? I would say yes, he is. But at the same time, are you really going to do Kota Ibushi being the heavyweight and IC champion for one day? Is it worth getting the title off of Naito if he's only going to be the champion for one day? I don't think it is. So, I'm going to go with Kota Ibushi to defeat Jay White and still retain the IWGP Intercontinental and Heavyweight Championship. And that is my predictions for Wrestle Kingdom 15. What are your guys' predictions? What do you guys think about my predictions? Comment down below. Let your boy know. So getting out of New Japan Pro Wrestling, we get into some Impact Wrestling. So Kenny Omega was back on Impact this week. I'll be honest, I did not watch Impact Wrestling. And this is what I feared was going to happen with Impact. They had the one segment with Kenny Omega, but the show was not interesting enough to keep fans interested, and we saw it in the ratings this week. They went from 233,000 back to 177,000. They lost nearly 100,000 viewers on TV. And then on Twitch, I don't even think they made the top 50 or even the top 100 streamers that were live that day. So they fell back. Kenny Omega did business for all of 1 week. Long term, how is it going to do? I think this is basically what we're going to see here. Unless Kenny Omega wrestles, people won't tune in. And he is going to wrestle. It was confirmed on this week's episode of Impact Wrestling and on Twitter that Kenny Omega will be wrestling at Impact Wrestling's next pay-per-view, Hard to Kill, on January the 16th. It will be Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson and Kenny Omega. It's Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, and Kenny Omega. I said 3 ands there. That's improper grammar. But they're going to be going up against the team of the Impact World Champion Rich Swann and the Motor City Machine Guns. Kenny Omega being in the ring with the Motor City Machine Guns is everything. Everything. Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann is never a match I never knew I wanted to see, and I really don't think it intrigues me all that much than Kenny Omega and Motor City Machine Guns does. But hey, you're getting the Impact Champion versus the AEW Champion. That is what's going to get people to tune into your product, having Kenny wrestle on the show. And I don't think Kenny's going to wrestle on Impact Wrestling Television every single week, nor should he, or would he, or will he. I think maybe if AEW wants to be nice, they'll throw Kenny Omega on that show maybe like a few times a year. And that's even if this partnership lasts in a whole year. This partnership may even last up until January. Nobody knows how long these companies are working together. This is not a confirmed, oh, this is going to be the rest of AEW's existence. This is going to be Impact Wrestling. That's not confirmed here. But let's assume that this partnership will last all of 2021. I can see Kenny Omega wrestling on Impact Wrestling maybe 5 times out of the year. Maybe even 4 or 3 times. You know, maybe book Kenny Omega like Brock Lesnar. Kenny Omega being the Brock Lesnar of Impact Wrestling. That's gonna be funny. That would be funny. Don Callis is Paul Heyman. Kenny is Brock Lesnar. He shows up just to beat everybody. Ah, man. I can't wait. But I will say this much. Kenny Omega being on Impact's Hard to Kill pay-per-view was enough to get me to buy this pay-per-view, so I will be live streaming that day. I'm excited for it. I hope, like I said on last week's episode of Impact Wrestling and the week prior, I hope Impact gives me their best. I've been trying my hardest for the last calendar year to get into Impact Wrestling, and every single time they have given me a reason not to tune in to Impact Wrestling. So I hope at a pay-per-view like this, and I will say this much, Slammiversary I thought was a good show. I thought it was worth the $40 I paid. So going into this show, which will likely be another $40, I want them to give me my money's worth. So this match I'm sure will kill it, but I want the rest of the matches on the show to kill it as well. I don't know what the rest of the matches are. I don't even know if they're even been built up properly just yet, but I'm looking forward to this match. Early prediction, obviously Kenny Omega and the OC will win. The Good Brothers will win. They did tease that the Bullet Club is going to be in Impact Wrestling, or reuniting at least with Kenny Omega and Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. And I can say this much. We have been seeing AEW on Impact Wrestling, but we have not seen Impact Wrestling on AEW just yet. I think this is the way you do it. Kenny Omega brings in Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson to AEW. Man, not every single week, because I don't think Impact will probably allow that. But you know, when they're needed to help Kenny Omega assist in getting this title defenses in or winning his matches. And then also the incorporation, getting those knockouts in the AEW Women's Division, that could be a great asset. But I think Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson will have a place in AEW. I don't know about them winning the AEW Tag Team Championships. I don't know if I will go that far, because after all, they do belong to Impact Wrestling. Winning the AEW Tag Team Championships would ensue that they will be on AEW for quite a while. I don't know how that partnership is going to work. That could make for some intriguing television as well, because Kenny Omega and the Bucks, they're best friends. Who would Kenny Omega choose in that situation? Would they choose to side with the Young Bucks, or they choose to side with Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows? That actually may make for some interesting television after all. And when you think about it, Hard to Kill is January the 16th. Revolution, I believe, is the very last week of February, so that's quite some time to build up to it. They could do... I'm fantasy booking in my head right now. They could do Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann at Revolution, title for title, and then do the Young Bucks versus Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, title for title at Revolution. What a there you go. And then maybe on an episode of Dynamite or even an episode of Impact, you can do a 6-on-6. Kenny Omega and Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson versus Rich Swann and the Young Bucks. Or maybe the reverse. I don't know. There's a story there. There is a story there that I think may be able to captivate both audiences. We'll see what they do going forward. Also, with AEW, I did watch Dynamite last week. I thought it was one of the weaker Dynamites of the year. I'm not really going to go over it, but I did end up watching it, I think, a day later because I was at work when it happened. Much like I will be at work again this Wednesday. So I won't be catching Dynamite live. But I think Dynamite isn't going to be airing live until 10 p.m. because of the NBA playoffs. So I might actually be catching Dynamite live after all. But this week on Dynamite, we do have some matches confirmed. On this week's Dynamite, we have Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Marco Stunt of the Jurassic Express. They'll be going up against the Dark Orders, Colt Cabana, Allen Angels, and Preston Vance. Can I just say this? Dark Order has been like probably the most irrelevant yet relevant team on AEW Dynamite. And I say this because John Silver and Alex Reynolds have been probably one of the most entertaining acts on Dynamite in the last, I would say, month and a half. Maybe even 2 months, I would say. But the rest of the Dark Order, outside of Anna Jay, I don't care about the rest of the Dark Order. Like, Allen Angels, Preston Vance, Colt Cabana, I don't care about any of those guys. I just don't care. Brody Lee is still out. I don't know if he's injured or taking time off, but he's been gone for quite a while. And I'm not saying this faction is going to, be the top faction or they're going to mean so much more when Brody Lee is back, but I don't know, man. They're floundering. I've been thinking about this low-key, but could they benefit from having John Silver and Alex Reynolds go after the AEW Tag Team Championships? Like, the Young Bucks are faces? Are they? Are they really faces, though? Like, they've been dicks for the last God knows how long, so I don't even know if I can call them faces right now. Could they benefit from going after the titles and possibly winning them? Maybe. Maybe it'll add some importance to the group. Maybe they might want to consider that. I'll get into the Young Bucks match a bit later on in the show, though. But I'm going to go with Jurassic Express to win this match. We also have Pac versus The Butcher. He did face off against The Blade, I think, a few weeks back and beat him. I think he's going to beat The Butcher here as well. We have Dustin Rhodes versus Evil Uno. I literally don't care about this match. Dustin Rhodes wins. Sting will be in an interview one-on-one with Tony Schiavone. He'll actually speak words. He did speak words last week too. Well, I mean the week prior, but hopefully we'll get some clearance on exactly what he's doing on AEW, because we still don't know what his intentions are. He keeps on hinting at facing Darby, wanting to face Darby and eyeing down Cody, but we still don't know what he's doing. Also, I've heard some people talking about this as well, and I'm gonna hop a bit on their track as well. Sting has been on AEW Dynamite for the last 4 going on 5 weeks. Let's not overexpose Sting. I know he's been signed full time. He's going to be there in a multi-year deal. But Sting does not need to be there every single week. And it's showing in the ratings. You have Sting on more often, guess what? People get used to him and he's not a special attraction anymore. He's a legend in the business. That will never go away. His legacy will never go away. But the uniqueness, the value that he has will go away if you keep putting him on TV every single week. Especially if he's on TV every single week and he's not doing anything. If he comes out and he eyes down Darby and he eyes down Cody, yeah, that's cool and all, but if he's not wrestling or he's not actually interacting in terms of promos, then you're not going to want to tune in to see Sting. Yeah, the nostalgia's there, but nostalgia wears off after a while, especially when you're there all the time. So I think if I'm AEW, Sting in this interview will say that I want to face off against so-and-so, and make the dates for maybe a month down the line, maybe a month out from now, maybe Revolution. I don't know, but I would have Sting set his eyes on somebody, Darby Allin preferably, for a match down the line. And I would not have Sting show up until that match. Maybe have Sting say I need to get it in ring shape, or I don't know, but I would not have Sting show up again for a while. I would have Sting go off television and make it be a surprise when he shows back up. Like he shows up and he lays out Darby Allin. I don't know, but I would have Sting off television for a while. That's what I would do. Also on this show, we have Top Flight, Darius and Dante Martin versus Chris Jericho and MJF. Chris Jericho and MJF wins this match. I like to believe this is going to be really good because Darius Martin and Dante Martin, they're really good. I like Top Flight. MJF is really good as well. Chris Jericho, he's really good, but he's been very slow lately. But that's what 50 years old will do to you. And then the main event of the evening, I'm assuming the main event of the evening, the Young Bucks will defend their AEW Tag Team Championships against The Acclaim, Anthony Bowens, and I don't know what the other guy's name is, I'll be honest. But they are going up against The Acclaimed. The Acclaim, they've been getting some wins on Dark. They've been getting built up on Dynamite as well. I don't think this is enough for them to win the Tag Team Championships just yet. It's a bit too soon, a bit too early. I would even say it's a bit too early for this match, but I guess the Young Bucks need to get some title defenses in there. So I'm going to go with the Young Bucks to retain the AEW Tag Team Championships in this match. So getting away from AEW, we get into a little bit of WWE here. I did catch TLC, and by TLC I mean the main event of TLC. I didn't watch any of the other show. You guys know I don't care about WWE anymore. But I was intrigued when I heard about The Fiend versus Randy Orton in a Firefly Inferno match, because an Inferno match in WWE in 2020, like, what the hell? Like, you know, growing up, I've seen my fair share of Inferno matches. I remember to this day watching SmackDown when MVP faced off against Kane in an Inferno match. And I don't know. I don't know if I really caught exactly that live, but I remember the match happening. I remember Kane, he had, I didn't watch this match back. I literally remembering this off my memory. Kane had MVP in like this chokehold, and I remember he held him up. They were outside the ring, because this is back when the ring was surrounded by flames. It was like this pole, this pole surrounding the ring, and it would be engulfed in flames. And Kane basically held MVP up in like this chokeslam position, and rather than chokeslamming him, he held his back towards the flame until he caught on fire. And I remember because MVP's back was on fire, and he's like, and then like I think like a few seconds later he was extinguished out. And I think the week later they showed this visual of MVP's back. It had all these burn marks and whatnot. To this day I don't know if that was real or not, but he had all these burn and singes on his back, and I'm like, damn, that was crazy. The only other Inferno match I could think of was Kane versus The Undertaker back in like 1997. I saw that one on my 15 years of Raw 15th anniversary DVD set. And I think I remember that match. Kane had his arm set on fire. He was like going through and running to the backstage area. And I'm so pissed, bro, because I saw this on Twitter the other day. Somebody posted a picture, and it was of Kane having his arm on fire during an Inferno match. And you could clearly see, because I never noticed this until today after I saw that post, you can clearly see there's like this film or this sleeve over top of Kane's arm, and it's on fire. So Kane wasn't actually on fire, it was his sleeve that was on fire. And I'm like, no, the mystique is gone. Wrestling is not a work, it's a work. But that's my knowledge of Inferno matches in WWE, at least. So I'm like, you know what, I'll tune into this to see how they do it. The match was a match. It was these two fighting each other, trying to set each other on fire. Bray Wyatt had his gear on the entire time, jacket and all. Randy Orton was dressed in, I think, like pants and a hoodie. So it's like, all right, somebody's getting set on fire here. Which one is it going to be? Like, if Randy Orton would have came out there in his, like, wrestling gear, I'm like, all right, there's no chance in hell Randy Orton's getting set on fire. Because you're not going to have Randy Orton literally, like, get set ablaze, skin burning and shit. Like, all right. Maybe he will catch on fire because he's wearing a hoodie. But there were some cool spots in here. A lot of cool shots in here. I will say, WWE at its best, they do have some good cinematic shots. You have The Fiend standing over top of Randy Orton as the flames are just like rising in the building. You had this one really cool spot where The Fiend had Randy Orton set on his chair, Bray Wyatt's chair at least. And he basically put it doused it in alcohol or whatever, kerosene, whatever the hell it may be, and then he set it ablaze. He set a track though. It was like a trail from where the Fiend was standing, leading all the way up to the chair. You could see the trail just like lighting up slowly but surely, and then Randy Orton wakes up and he gets out of the way, and then the chair catches on fire, and like that was a cool visual. But the end of the match is where everybody's talking. So Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, they're fighting each other. Now the ring is not on fire. The surrounding image is like you have these. It almost reminded me like of Mortal Kombat Arena, where like you have these like little pots that rise up with flames, and I can't describe it, but it looked like a Mortal Kombat Arena in a sense. So you have Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, they're holding each other down, they're trying to push each other into this flame, and Randy Orton gets the upper hand, and he pushes Bray Wyatt into the flame, and you see the Fiend is legitimately on fire. But he's not like, he's no selling it. Like, this dude is literally, not like getting the entire body, but his back and his legs are on fire. And this might be the moment of the year. I don't fucking know. The Fiend, while on fire, looks at Randy Orton, who's in the ring, slides into the ring, still on fire, and basically runs into an RKO. Like, that shit was awesome. I ain't gonna lie. I don't care if it was CGI. People saying, oh, it's CGI. Fuck you. Who the fuck cares, man? It was cool. I don't care if it was CGI. I don't care if it was fake fire or he was covered in a non-flammable liquid, because he had to have been, because otherwise Bray Wyatt would have literally just been burning up the entire time. It was a cool visual to see that. Like, that was awesome to see that. And because he was caught on fire, Randy Orton would have won the match. Now, the bell never rung for whatever reason, but we assume Randy Orton won. Now, after this all happened, Bray Wyatt gets extinguished. But then, after the match, Randy Orton gets that little thing of kerosene or nightmare fuel, whatever the hell he's getting, and he pours it all over the Fiend. Now, I'm sitting here like, are we about to see like arson committed on live television? Not live television, because it's on the WWE Network, but you get what I mean. So, as he's lighting this match on fire, I could easily tell this is a wax figure or a doll or whatever the hell it may be. It looks like the Bray Wyatt, but it's not Bray Wyatt. And he tosses it onto the Fiend, and the Fiend catches on. Like, the Fiend is literally engulfed in flames. Like, face, body, legs, hands, catching on. We're led to believe that Randy Orton literally just killed this man. That's basically what we're led to believe. Randy Orton just killed the Fiend. And he walks away and he's posing in the background. This motherfucker literally posed as he set a man on fire. Like, dude, I ain't gonna lie, I thought that match was cool. I ain't gonna sit here and act like I thought it was, oh, WWE, they're doing this hokey bullshit. Like, come on, bro. Have an open mind when you're watching pro wrestling. I thought that was cool. I thought it was fun. I don't know if it has replayability. I thought it was kind of goofy at times with the whole setting him on fire thing. That was goofy. But everything else about the match was cool. It wasn't a 5-star classic. It wasn't a great match. It was just a cool visual. A really fun match. It was a fun match. Put it that way. During this show, we also had the announcement of the Royal Rumble will be happening on January the 31st. Who may win the Rumble? The question is, I don't really know who's going to win the Royal Rumble this year. I don't watch enough WWE to really guess on that. If I had to take like a wild guess off the top of my head, I'm going to say it's Goldberg, and they're going to build up Roman Reigns versus Goldberg at WrestleMania again. I've been hearing rumblings that it'll be Keith Lee, and I'm fucking down for a Keith Lee Rumble win, but I don't think that's happening. I highly doubt it. As far as the women, I hope it's Bianca Belair. I've been hearing they're building up Bianca versus Sasha at WrestleMania, which let's fucking go. Melanin wins. We win if that match happens. The best way to do it is for Bianca to win. She had a great performance last year. I think she eliminated like 8 or 7 women last year. I think she should go to Mile and win the whole thing. Now, she entered in number 2 last year, I think. Number 1 or number 2. So I would probably have her enter in like midway, so that way it makes it look like she's not going to win, and then just win the whole thing. Who else would you have win it? Unless it's somebody from NXT coming into it, maybe making a debut. Like, I don't know who else wins it outside of Bianca Belair. So, Bianca wins. I'm going to make my guesses, Bianca and Goldberg to win the Rumble this year. But that's my December guess. As we get closer, my guess may be different. I can confirm I will be live for the Royal Rumble, as I am every single year on YouTube, and will be on Twitch as well. I am working on doing another Tyler Williams Royal Rumble pool. We did it last year, where you guys submitted in to be a part of the pool. You get a number randomly drawn to you, and the winner gets a prize. I cannot confirm we're doing it this year, but I'm working on it. We'll see what happens. Now, outside of all of that, I do get to my top 50 list. The videos will be going out this week. The schedule is on the community page, the Tyler Williams community page. Make sure you guys go to that to find out. Let me not redirect you there. Let me just say what the what the schedule's gonna look like. So basically, if you guys do not know, today we'll be talking about the 15 honorable mentions that did not make top 50 lists. These are matches that were originally on a top 50 or were in consideration but just didn't make the cut for whatever reason. On December the 24th, on Christmas Eve, which you may be hearing this, we'll be getting the top 50 to top 41. On Christmas Day, December 25th, you'll be getting the top 40 to top 31. On December the 27th, you'll be getting the top 30 to top 21 matches. December the 29th will be top 20 to top 11. And then on December the 31st, hours before the new year, will be the top 10 matches of the year. So that is the schedule for my top 50. And right here, right now, I'm going to give you guys my 15 matches that didn't make the cut. Now, these were all, in my opinion, matches that are worth mention because in some way, shape, or form, I thought they were good matches. Now, I'm not going to go deep into every single match and why it was great or whatnot. I'm just going to mention it briefly and talk about why it was good and why I liked it. So, first match on here was the Young Bucks versus the Butcher and the Blade from AEW Dynamite. Is that August? Not August. The July 22nd edition. This was the Falls Count Anywhere tag team match on Dynamite. It was like 15 or so minutes. It was really fun. This was the match that started backstage and they made their way into the ring. Now, this was originally going to be on the list, but it got bumped off for number 50. But this was a really fun match that I think has a lot of replayability. I think you guys will enjoy it if you have not seen it before, which I assume you guys all have. The next one on here, Charlotte Flair versus Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley at NXT TakeOver in Your House. This was also a really good triple threat match. I didn't think it was top 50 worthy, but it is worth a good mention. Another match on here, Nyla Rose versus Riho from AEW Dynamite, the February 22nd edition, which in my opinion is still one of the best Dynamites of the year. This match was killer, man. It was definitely one of the best women's matches for AEW Dynamite. The next one on here, Pride and Powerful versus the Best Friends from AEW Dynamite, the September 10th edition. It was the parking lot brawl. You guys all enjoyed it. Dave Meltzer gave it 5 stars. I beg to differ, but he gave it 5 stars. It did involve the best ending to an AEW Dynamite I've ever seen, with Trent's mom riding off and then flipping off both Santana and Ortiz. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. Also in here, we have Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley on the November 18th edition of NXT. Really good match. Just going to keep on going through these. Also on here, we have Mayu Iwatani versus Shiori in the main event of Stardom's Yokohama Cinderella show on October the 3rd, 2020. Really good match. We have Tetsuya Endo versus Masato Tanaka, DDT Wrestle Peter Pan 2020. It was their Night 2 show on June the 7th. Really, I thought that was actually one of the better matches of my matches that got cut. It's not more so that I didn't think it was worthy, but that I just didn't have the rapport with these two men that I did with a lot of the other wrestlers on the list, so they got bumped for that matter. Also on here, you have Sasha Banks versus Bayley on WWE SmackDown, the November 6th edition. Really good match. I watched that a few weeks back. I enjoyed that. We have the Women's War Games match from NXT TakeOver War Games this year. I thought that was a killer War Games. I enjoyed that slightly better than I did the Men's War Games match, which wasn't to say that the Men's War Games match wasn't good, but I thought this was slightly better. We have Hiromu Takahashi versus Toru Yano, New Japan Cup Day 5. I wanted to put this on the top 50 list so badly, but I didn't want to be a troll, so I took it off. But this is one of the more fun matches of the year that I think all of you should take a look at if you have not already. You have Mayu Iwatani versus Jungle Kiona from Stardom Cinderella Summer in Nagoya. That was also a really good match. Arisa Hoshiki versus Utami Hayashishita from Stardom's 9th anniversary show. This was the infamous match where we saw blood. Yes, Utami Hayashishita, she did the blade job. She didn't do the blade job. She got busted open in the match. And I think that probably may be the only reason people remember this match is because, like, a woman bled. And it's extremely rare to see women bleed in professional wrestling, but it was a good match outside of the blood. You guys will enjoy it overall. Hiromu Takahashi versus Ryu Lee from New Japan Pro Wrestling New Beginning in Osaka. Also a really great match that could have made the list, but other matches I thought were slightly better. Serena Deeb versus Thunder Rosa from AEW Dynamite. I pretty sure I got the date wrong here, but you guys know what show I'm talking about. This easily, in my opinion, was the best women's match AEW's had all year. When I think back on it, you think about the matches like Hikaru Shida versus Britt Baker from earlier in the year, where Britt Baker also bled. You think about Riho versus Nyla Rose. You think about Hikaru Shida versus Penelope Ford. There were many matches Dynamite had this year that were better than Serena Deeb and Thunder Rosa. And it's sad to say because it was for the NWA Women's Championship. Neither woman really, I would say, represented AEW here, but it was still a great match that happened on Dynamite television. And lastly, a match that may shock a lot of you, and I'm going to go into a bit of a reason why it got knocked out of here, was FTR versus the Young Bucks at All Elite Wrestling Full Gear. Now, a lot of you are probably stunned that this match got knocked off of the top 50 list, but this match originally went from top 10 to top 20 to getting knocked off. And the reason why I got knocked off is because when I made this list, I originally compiled together matches that I thought would be in my top 10. Then I went from there. And then there was this match. I watched this match back 3 times. The first was a live viewing, and the second was to get the show. And each time I watched it back, I think I liked it a lot less. Now, here's to say, this match had an incredible amount of hype going into it. I mean, it was, of course, the build to the Young Bucks versus FTR, the dream match that fans have been wanting to see for years now. And I feel like this match suffered from having too much build, because it never was going to live up to the hype that we all thought it would. As hard as they tried to make it, it just did not. I thought there were some key good elements in this match, like Dax's hand being targeted, and one of the more favorable spots I had in this match where Dax just kind of left the ring. Well, he wasn't legally in the match, but he left the ring. I think he tagged out, left the ring, and we saw him getting his hand taped up. Like, it was something so tiny and so small, but it was one of those details that I really loved about FTR. Like, there were things to make this a favorable match and aspects that I believe would make people believe it was a great match. But however, when you talk about the first 10 minutes of this match being your typical slow build to the crescendo, this was slow. Like, this was boring levels of slow. And I know in New Japan, they do the typical build to the crescendo and the New Japan epics. It was a build like a New Japan epic in a sense, with the amount of, working over body parts. And it just felt kind of lifeless. And I ended up checking my phone for a lot of it in the first live viewing. And in the second and third back, I just liked it less and less. It just was disinteresting, unmotivating. And yeah, there were cool spots in this match, but it felt like at some point they were just hitting moves to hit moves. Nothing really felt like they were building up to anything. And though you had the limb targeting for Matt Jackson's ankle and Dax Harwood's hand, and you had the injured ribs of Matt Jackson as well, it felt like they were just putting moves together. And yes, it was cool to see FTR pay homage to DIY and Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy when Young Bucks end. It was cool to see all that. But structurally, this match just did not work. I think when you take a step back and you look at this match, and I think a lot of you may have to watch this match back again to really understand why I'm saying what I'm saying here. But when you take a step back and you really look at this match for what it was, and
the finish of the match, like, looking back at it, I thought the finish was dumb. Like, you mean to tell me you've been targeting this man's ankle, Matt Jackson's ankle, the entire match, picking it apart limb from limb, and then the finish of the match is Matt Jackson, no boot on, super kicking Cash Wheeler in the face and getting the pin. Now, realistically here, think about this. Matt Jackson, his ankle's injured. So, realistically, performing a super kick, he should be in immense pain after hitting that move. But somehow he manages to get the pin like 2 seconds after hitting this move. Okay. The other issue I have with this is that there were so many great moves and, like, you know, finishes that could have been done in this match to end it, but you end it off of a no boot super kick. Like, I'd imagine that getting hit with a boot hurts a lot more to get hit with a bare foot. Now, I've never been, that's the lie, I've been kicked in the face before. I've never been super kicked in the face barefoot, but I'd imagine it would not hurt, like, enough to get down for 3 seconds. I just feel like it was a cool spot, but it was a dumb way to finish the match. I summarize all that together to say that even though I can't say this was a bad match, because it wasn't a bad match, this is a match that I feel like people are going to remember for the wrong reason, and it is just not the match everybody thinks that it is. And I'll leave it at that. You guys, I want you guys to comment down below what are your thoughts on FTR versus the Young Bucks. Don't make my opinion sway you away from liking it. If you liked it, say that you liked it and say why you liked it. If you think I have an interesting point, I want you to go back, rewatch this match, come back to this video, and comment down below what do you think watching this match back. I'm genuinely curious about what you guys think about FTR versus the Young Bucks, because for me, even though I thought there was some good in the match, it was not worthy of the top 50 in my opinion. And lastly here, we get into some questions that I got from you guys. NJPW Fan 10 had a question. He answered one. I think it might be his first time asking a question here, so I'm excited to answer his. But let's start off with Mason Goldberg. Big shout out to Mason Goldberg, NJPW Fan 10, and Liam Version 1 for being my Patreon backers. Mason Goldberg asked some questions, and I answered them. His first question is, do you think WWE will actually change in any real way post-Vince? So once Vince McMahon is dead, will I think it change? It will change? Only time will tell. I would like to think that it will, because Vince McMahon has been on a stranglehold with this company for well over since he got the company handed over to him by his dad. And the company was not bad at all in the last, like, 10 years prior. It didn't really get bad until I would say 2015 is where, not even that, like, I would say, like, Raw was still considerably good in 2015 and 2016. The company didn't start making a downfall until 2017, honestly. That's when it really started to fall. And Vince's really, Vinceisms, you know, him pushing talents and burying people and just making stupid booking decisions, that really started to get signed a lot more in 2018. I mean, we're coming up on 2 years where the McMahons came out on Raw television and told us they have not been doing a very good job for us lately, and that they apologized for putting on shitty television, and that we were the authority, and that they were going to make Raw great again. They didn't say that word for word, but they did say we are the authority. And 2 years later, here I am, not watching Raw at all. So what does that say about Vince McMahon and what he has done with the company in the 2 years that they said they would change? They have not done much. Actually, they've done some things to change, but guess what? They weren't for the better. So yes, I would like to believe that this will change once Vince McMahon's dead, but as CM Punk once said, the fact is it will be ran by his idiotic daughter and his doofus son-in-law and the rest of his stupid family. So I don't know, maybe it will not change. But I think that Vince McMahon having control over every little aspect of this company has been doing more damage than good. So there is some positive that comes out of Vince McMahon not being there. What that will be, I don't exactly know. I wish I could answer your question and say, oh, you know, everybody who in NXT will become WWE champion, and this has happened, and this will happen, and we can all sit here and dream book scenarios that Vince McMahon is no longer there, and these guys and that guy will finally get the moment that they deserve. But ultimately, we're all just assuming this will happen when Vince McMahon is going. I think CM Punk's words, though it was scripted, and you may believe it was scripted, it wasn't scripted, I think his words have some merits. We don't know exactly what a Triple H and Stephanie McMahon WWE looks like. We have this vision of what we think it will look like from NXT. But what happens when Triple H has to run NXT and Raw and SmackDown and every pay-per-view and all the financial matters and do all that? What happens when Triple H has to do all those actions? I think earlier in the year, Triple H did step down from COO and went into some lower ranked position. He's taking on less work now. Stephanie McMahon, I don't think she really has much to do with the booking of WWE. We don't know exactly what that's going to look like. We're just assuming it's going to be good. But we'll see in due time. His next question is, will Okada win the IWGP Heavyweight Championship title again in 2021? I hope not. But I think he will. I think Okada at some point in 2021, hopefully later in the year, will win the title back. Now, I will give New Japan a lot of credit. We have not seen Okada as IWGP Heavyweight Champion since January the 5th, which is one of the longest periods of time where Okada has not been the champion. I think I made a tweet about it a few weeks ago where the longest period he's gone without being a champion was, I think, like a year and a half. If we can go a year and a half, he'll break his record. But I don't think we're going to go 2 years without Okada being a champion. New Japan loves Okada. That's their golden boy. That's their ace. That's their bread and butter. He will get that championship back at some point. I just hope when he gets the championship back, because I'm certain it's happening at some point. When he gets it back, he will go back to being the actual goddamn Rainmaker. That's all I ask for. I'm not a big fan of Okada. I'm not the biggest fan of Okada. You guys know I have not been the biggest fan of Okada all year. But god damn it. Give me Okada at his best and I will turn around. I'm not an Okada hater. Like, I'm not sitting here actively hating Okada just because he's the top guy. Like, no, I don't like Okada because he's been performing below his means. All he needs to do is be the wrestler that I fell in love with when I started watching New Japan in 2018. If he can be that Okada, I will get right back on the bandwagon. I'm not written off of the bandwagon. I'm just not on it because you're not giving me a reason to cheer for you. Give me a reason to cheer and I will cheer for you. That's all I ask. So yes, he will win it back. But when he wins it back, if he is still dragging his feet, then I will still be burying this man on my podcast every single week. Oh, man. All right. The next question he asks. How long do you think Tanahashi will continue to wrestle for? Well, Minoru Suzuki's 52. Yuji Nagata is 50. Going on 51. Hiroshi Tenzan, he's like, what, 50 as well? Satoshi Kojima's like nearing 50. Look at the landscape of the New Japan dads. Literally all of them are either 50 or nearing 50. So, I don't think Tanahashi is going to retire anytime soon. I think he's definitely going to be going into his 50s still wrestling. He's just going to be a New Japan dad. So, if I had to take a good guess, I'm going to say Tanahashi's going to wrestle for the next 5 to 6 years. I don't think he will be... like I said, I think his days of being a champion are over. Now, I could be wrong, and I won't be upset if he ever becomes a champion again. But I think he will be scaling down, and I think that he will be resorting into, you know, maybe that managerial role that Tenzan's in with Master Wato, or, you know, just there to, you know... I don't think we're going to see Tanahashi being the guy that gets pinned every single week like Tomoki Omna is. But he'll be there to, you know, guide the new generation. So, that's, I think, the role he's set for. And lastly, he asked, do you think another wrestling boom is coming post-COVID or even possible? No. I hate to be the Debbie Downer about it because I am a wrestling fan, much like you are, but no. Pro wrestling is a niche. A small niche. Pro wrestling at one point was one of the most popular things in the world. In the 1990s, the late 1990s, in the Attitude Era, pro wrestling was pulling in nearly 7 to 8 million viewers every single week. Do I think that we're getting back to this period where we're going to start seeing us get to 9 or 8 million viewers? That's never going to happen. Like, I'm saying no because I'm trying to keep my expectations low. But we'll never get back to that point, like, ever. Pro wrestling has driven away way too many people. for many different reasons. That's not happening. Will we ever get back to 5 million? I don't think so. Will we ever get back to 3 million? And I know when you say this boom period, you got to be talking about, like, you know, Raw, SmackDown ratings, because that's the biggest show around. They're the ones that are really going to be driving the fans back. AEW, yes, they could possibly shoot up in ratings. But I ask you, they have Sting, they have Kenny Omega, they have Cody. Who do you think will be the wrestler to get AEW their boom period? No short of CM Punk, who I think would give them a slight boost in ratings, but it wouldn't last all of, like, the entire length that they're around. What wrestler, what feud would get people to tune in for AEW? Because when you're talking about a boom, you're talking about people who either don't watch wrestling or don't watch wrestling anymore coming back to watch wrestling. What feud, storyline, or wrestler would do that? I don't know if I could think of one for AEW. For WWE, they have this great source of legends they could pull from at any point in time. And they're doing Legends Night next week to pull in ratings because they just reached their lowest ratings ever. What wrestler would be the boom period for them? No short of CM Punk, who, like I said, will do business for them for all of, you know, maybe a few months, and then he'll lose his luster because he's wrestling every week. I don't think that person exists. I don't know if this, unless wrestling somehow gets memed and this new generation finds wrestling appealing the same way this new generation made esports what it is today, it's not impossible, but I don't see how this is going to happen. So sadly, I'm going to say the answer is no. Can it happen? Absolutely. I would be shocked and elated. As a wrestling fan, I would want nothing more than more people to watch professional wrestling. But I've accepted the fact that I'm in a very small niche where I would say maybe 2 to 3 million people actually watch professional wrestling outside of 8 billion people in this entire world. It's a very minuscule audience we have. Yeah, exactly. That's how I see it. There's no box office for us. Like, we're not like the Avengers where we have 1 billion in the box office. That's the biggest box office for WrestleMania was what? Well, let me look this up. What is the highest grossing, because WrestleMania is the biggest show of the year, so that would tell you. The highest grossing that's not the highest grossing WrestleMania. Hold on, let me go to this. Really? Alright, so the years past have been doing pretty good numbers. That's good. That's the Superdome. I'm not looking for the Superdome. I heard before that the highest grossing WrestleMania was no. Let's go by okay, I found one from the Sportster. So the highest grossing WrestleMania of all time is WrestleMania 28 in 2012, 8 years ago. You want to know who main evented that show? John Cena and The Rock. That show did 1 million buys. The Avengers did 1 billion. Close to 2 billion in the box office. Star Wars, Harry Potter. I know that's unfair to compare it to those, but let's compare it to gaming. What is the highest grossing video game of 2020? Call of Duty Modern Warfare is the highest grossing game of 2020. And how much does this game do? How many buys did this game do? No, I'm not looking at the right article. My point is that there's so many other niches out there that you think are not as big that are much bigger than pro wrestling. When you compare it to pro wrestling, it makes you realize just how tiny we are. And like I said before, once upon a time, gamers were looked at as, you know, this disgusting slobs, these lowlifes. Like, everybody remembers, like, 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, gamers were pictured as these fat asses that sat behind screens and, you know, lived in their mom's basements and did nothing with their lives. Now look at gamers. You have top Twitch streamers like Ninja making $20 to $30 million off of their Mixer contracts. You have people being signed to multi-million-dollar deals just to stream on a platform for 8 hours a day. You have people being flown out to different states and countries in the world to perform. And by perform, I mean play video games in front of crowds of 10,000 people. That's how big video games have blown up. So is it possible? Yes, but I don't know what that is going to look like. I don't know what event would happen for wrestling to blow up to even a sliver of the magnitude that video games are at right now. So even though I see like I'm burying pro wrestling, I don't think it will. And if you think it will, please tell me what you think that event will be. And lastly, NJPW Fan 10 asks, what's your take on Kota Ibushi losing at Wrestle Kingdom Night 1, Naito beating Jay White in the main event of Night 2 to retain? I definitely don't see this out of the realm of possibility, especially since Naito has had 2 rivals all year, Evil and Kenta. On top of this, Wrestle Kingdom really has no build and Ibushi doesn't have the briefcase, so I think if Naito wins at Wrestle Kingdom, they're looking to try for a real year title run. Kind of a reset from 2020 to 2021. So you're asking me what I would think if Naito beat both Ibushi and Jay White. I'm not a fan of that idea. I'm not, and I know you're probably thinking, I know you're not a fan of that idea. You're not a fan of that idea because you like Jay White and Kota Ibushi. Yes, but no. I say that because Tetsuya Naito, and I said this in a previous podcast, Tetsuya Naito is more desirable as the chaser than he is as the challenger, as he is the champion. When Tetsuya Naito is the challenger, there's a lot more, motivation. There's a lot more interest because you want this guy to win. He's been beaten down. He's been casted out. You want to see him finally reach his climax. You want to see him finally realize his moment. And he gets pulled away. He doesn't reach it. He doesn't actually get to his goal. There's a story there. When Naito finally realized his destino at Wrestle Kingdom 14, yes, COVID did fuck up a lot of the plans they had, but it just seemed kind of like that was the end of New Japan. Like, we realized the true story with Naito being the champion. What else is left? Aside from Okada getting the title back at some point. We entered in a feud with Kenta, which was the epilogue. Then COVID happened. Then we came back. Then New Japan Cup happened. And Naito did not wrestle for the New Japan Cup. He wrestled at Dominion, and he lost the title in his first defense. In his first defense, he lost the title to Evil. He could have easily defeated Evil and went on a year-long title reign, but he lost it to Evil. Because they wanted to create a new star. And a new star they did make in Evil. Who lost his title back after one defense to Hiromu Takahashi. And a month and a half, back to Tetsuya Naito. Who defended his title again against Evil at Summer Struggle. And then again against Evil one more time at Power Struggle. They had many opportunities to put in their different talent with Tetsuya Naito. But they were very, very, very adamant on it being Evil for whatever reason. Not that Evil wasn't already the world champion, but they wanted to have Evil in there with Naito. So, what did we accomplish this year with Naito being the champion exactly? Like I said before, yes, COVID did fuck up their plans. But they had to work with what they had to work with. And in that time period, when we had 3 tournaments where Tetsuya Naito competed in none of them, he was not wrestling. So, we did not get a full championship reign out of Naito. But that's how they booked it. So, when we get to Wrestle Kingdom, and he beats both guys, okay, we have this semblance of these guys who already faced Naito, who already were in feuds, lost to him, so you knock them out of contention. Who do you set up for Naito? I guess Will Ospreay's next in line because he will beat Okada, in theory. He beats Okada, cool. Ospreay set up next. Does he drop the title to Ospreay? Because if you're saying that he would hold on to the title for a year, he's gonna beat Ospreay. Who's next after Ospreay? I guess Sonata, because Sonata, he would beat Evil. He would then beat Sonata too. Who's next after Sonata? You can't go back to Kota Ibushi and Jay White right away because they already lost at Wrestle Kingdom. Maybe Tanahashi maybe you get one more title match out of Tanahashi and Naito. He would beat Tanahashi. Who's next? You think about this that way. You're running down these lines of guys who could potentially be contenders for the title, and Naito beats them. Naito's story was that his destiny is to be the champion. He is the champion. His story is over. I don't think his story is to be the best. That's not his arc. That's Okada's arc. I've come to accept that is Okada. Okada's story is to be the best. That is not Naito's story. Now, you could do Naito and Okada again and have Naito beat Okada, but what do you accomplish there? I don't think you have much to work with Naito as the champion long term. If you wanted to do Naito as the champion long term, you had that semblance of doing it this year, with him defending the title against other guys, but they went with Evil. I don't think you're getting much. I don't think you're accomplishing anything with Naito being a champion still. We're going into 2021. We have our fixture of who our top guys are. It's Naito, it's Jay White, it's Ibushi. You want to throw in Okada because he's never not going to be the ace, you have Okada in there. You want to throw in Ospreay because he's the leader of the Empire, you have Ospreay in there. You want to throw in Evil because he's been a former champion, you have Evil in there. That's your 6 guys right there. And you're going to have Naito go in there, and he already beat Evil. He already beat White. He already beat Ibushi. He already beat Okada at Wrestle Kingdom. He beat Tanahashi earlier this year. So your last guy in there would be Ospreay. You're going to have him go in there and beat Ospreay? Unless you want to delay Ospreay's, championship reign until, I don't know, Wrestle Kingdom next year? Like, I don't know if you want to hold off on that too much longer. Because I do believe that Ospreay will be a champion. I don't know next year, but he will be a champion at some point. How much longer do you want to hold off on, potentially doing that? Because they got over Evil by putting the championship on him. How would you get Ospreay over other than putting a championship on him too? So are they going to do the same thing with Ospreay? He beats Evil. Let's say he beats Naito at New Beginning, and then Naito wins it back. Then you're just basically doing the same thing that Okada does every fucking time, where he loses the title for a little bit and then he just gets it right back. I don't like Naito because he's basically the second Okada. I like Naito because he's his own man. He's different. He's not Okada. That's what I like about Naito. If you're going to book him like Okada, then I don't want to see Naito in that position. So I'm not trying to shit on your idea, but I would not have Naito retain. Now, easily, like I said, Naito is in his best as the challenger. You can easily have Naito go in there and chase the title once again. I don't know if I would have him win it back another, 4th time, but you can easily have him go back in there and chase. That is what he is meant to do. That is his role. He is a chaser, not a carrier. And that's where I'll leave you guys at. Guys, that was Chill Pill Podcast episode 26. What did you guys think? Comment down below. Let your boy know. I love you guys as always. I want you all to have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. Happy New Year. All that hoopla. I will talk to you all on the end of the year edition of the Chill Spill Podcast. We will be getting into our final categories for the Tyler Suplex Damaski's Awards. Happy holidays, guys.